Hi everyone, welcome to Digital Blast Gaming. I am Spencer H, and today we have a little update, actually a big update. The earnings rebalancing has changed. All right, and there's a new item in the store. So before we get into that, though, we're gonna go over and we're gonna take a look at the price. Okay, so here on CoinMarketCap, we have the silk price is sitting at 78 cents right here. Okay, it was up higher, around 96 cents, something like that, a couple of days ago. We've been fluctuating around in the 80s. So right now, currently, it is down. Okay. So now let's go take a look at what's in the store here. So we have a new item here, and it is Arachnium. So Arachnium right here, one. You can buy one. All right. One. So the reason that that is new is because you're going to need Arachnium. Gonna have to have it. And it is nice to actually have just a few Arachnium, right? If you can just get one. Otherwise, you can't always get, 10 was the lowest that they had, right? Or you could buy 100 or 1,000 of them. You couldn't just buy one. So they are changing some stuff right now. Currently, let's see here. So they have some different stuff in the drop pods as well. All right. So as we look at this, they're changing a bunch of different metrics at the same time. But they are doing it kind of slowly as they're tweaking some things. And I did say it was going to be a rocky road. And we're going to talk about some of those earnings things. And that's how all of this is combined, because it is a big ecosystem. It is complex to a degree, because they have so many different facets and factors in this. So the one will be nice for those smaller people, so they don't have to earn 10 until they could buy one, right? So I'm glad that they did put that in there for the lower guys that have commons or uncommon tanks, or even the rares. So let's go over and take a look in Discord here, and that'll explain some of the things that have happened. By the way, Happy New Year. I've had some computer issues, got some of that worked out, but here we are. We're moving forward. So to catch up on some of these old ones and some of the new stuff that's actually going on, because some of these new things are taking effect fully today for the new ecosystem for SpiderTanks. So that's why it's important to pay attention to what we got going on here. All right. We have pegged the VP Silk to 2,500 to 1, right? So most of you guys know that have been playing. This has been changing over the last month here, right? This is the last day of January 31st, and this is my first video of the year, but life happens, right? So you haven't missed out on anything, right? Because this got even worse. It actually went to like 20,000 to 1 at one point, because the buffer pool ran out. So they knew that this model was not going to work. That's why they had a buffer pool. They kind of wanted to see where it went, and then they could critique it from there, right? So they did put all that in there. Then there was also some perfect reroll upgrades that rolled out, and that was around the 16th. If you had a 1,200 honor score, right? So then let's scroll down here to this other stuff of what's going on here. And I will pull this up. I have a picture here and make this a little bit bigger for you, all right? Okay, there we go. So they changed how much your rarity is going to earn. Now, some people were really pissed off about this. You can see by the numbers, the people that were probably really the most pissed off were probably the ancients, at down 76.29% in earnings. Okay. Now, I've been calling for that they needed to rebalance this because the ancients were so far off from the commons that it just didn't make sense, and it's going to take a common person forever to ever even upgrade. The whole point of the game is The game part of mode of it is to upgrade your tanks, right? Like everybody needs to be at a 30. We could argue everybody needs to be at a level playing field and say, oh, all zeros. But the fact of the matter is that part of the game experience, and what they're doing, it's just like any other game. If you upgrade, in order, you're not going to want to stay at a zero. You're going to want to play to upgrade, right? And that's what this is. Not really play to earn. You could, but you're playing to upgrade, right? So I think overall, there's good things and there's bad things about this, but what we need to pay attention to is the game is nothing without users, right? And this needed to be rebalanced so that it was a little bit more fair and even, in order to gain more users, because having it the other way, we lost a lot of users and they did not retain any users by that model at all. So it was like ancients win everything and it's done, right? And people didn't like that. The other thing that happened in there too, lost a friend. He said, nope, done. Not going to play anymore. Put his stuff on OpenSea, and he was done when the matchmaking just wasn't working. And the reason the matchmaking wasn't working is because we don't have players. Now, they're trying to fix the player thing. They have launched $1 million in ads. Yes, I did not get that video out, but yeah, news. They launched $1 million in advertising in YouTube ads. I actually just saw my first one today. They've been out for a while, I believe, but I saw my first one, and there is a little joke. There's a guy that changed his name. He has an ancient, and he says, new player from YouTube ads, and he's a deity. So all those deities out there, that is one of the reasons why my friend left, was because the matchmaking was so bad. He was going up against teams. About 2 days after he left, they changed that where you don't have a team of randoms going up against a team of 3 deities, and because everybody was just getting crushed by them, right? It wasn't working if you're a random player. So now a lot of people are just playing random, so they did do that as well. All right, so let's go over here and look at what else they have for us. So I'm going to pull this up, and if you can see here, this is the reason why they need 1 arachnium, right? So they're changing what it's going to cost to level up your tanks. Now, each rarity is going to have different, right? So you're going to have, so this is basically the one for a common tank, right? Because you're just using bolts. You don't have any scrap metal because you're not a green, right? You're just a gray. So, but you're still going to have arachnium. So 0.01 arachnium on there, right, is what you're going to have in 6 bolts. And I think this is a previous and now or something like that. So you're going to have a lot. He was just giving a heads up of the chart that this is changing, right? So that was Chair Bandit. Thanks for that, Chair Bandit. So the big news of the day, and this did come out at 11 here, just a little bit ago, about an hour ago. It says the updates are this. All right, folks, we're going to be pushing the econ changes discussed in the above announcement momentarily. Changelog updates SpiderTanks to the new economic model. This includes both earnings update by rarity as well as new upgrade cost table. Okay. And if you go in, this is in the SpiderTanks announcements, right? And they added 1 arachnium to the store. Reason being, because you're going to need it now. So then there's also atomic drop pods will be dropping their price in the store, which they did come out with that, and we will talk about that a little bit too. I was looking at it and I'm going, it's just not, economical to be renting at those prices. Removing the 30% that was previously burned on the pilot program. Captain's pilots will continue to split VP earnings now 50-50. Now, this is big. This is really good. So that should bring in more players as well. So they're actively, they know that there was a problem and that there's no players. The daily active users is right around 800, 850. I saw as high as like 920 or something the other day. So it's still not real strong. And you know it's not strong when they have to substitute because there's not enough players at one single time to be playing. They have to substitute a bot in there. So when you're getting bots just to get matches, it's not good. But this should help. So let's talk about those atomic drop pods, right? So on those drop pods, they have, let's go look at these prices here. So popularity. So some of this changed because they redid this, right? So it was 1.5 for a gray. So they dropped them in half by 50%, it looks like. Because the earnings of these was so high, and that's the other thing, a little strategy here for you. So I have my tanks out there, and I did purchase a gray one, right? Because it was the cheapest. It was like 1.5 for it. I didn't want to go blowing a bunch of silk on any of these higher ones, but you only need, so if you have a legendary that you're wanting to rent out, then you have to have this, either a top or a bottom. If you have a legendary bottom and say you have a common top for a weapon, you still have to have the legendary. You can't use a blue, for it, the atomic drop pods. So you have to do it by the rarity of what you're putting in there. So you kind of want to match a blue with a blue. I mean, you could go different, but that's where those ironclad ones come in nice, because you can mix match if you're wanting to do a mix match, right? Otherwise, whatever your highest rarity is, that's the rarity you're gonna have to have in order to make your match for your atomic for the atomic drop pods that you can purchase. So, little strategy in there. I looked at it and I said, okay, I'm not gonna rent these tanks out, any of my tanks, unless they're at a certain level, because I didn't see the point in doing it. It just economically is not feasible, right? And this is not financial advice in any way, but it just didn't make sense, right? So I just wanted to try it. I had a gray that was upgraded, both all the way, so I rented that out, and it just really wasn't cost effective to really be making anything. But they took away that 30% burn. Now they're going to be getting 50-50 tank owners to, and also the people that are earning too. So if they're playing that pilot program, that is a huge incentive. Plus they're trying to bring players in. This should all help the ecosystem thrive, right? And I really think that it'll be good for it, some of these changes that they've had, and that is to bring players in. I don't think anybody's getting rich off of playing this game, but it's definitely a fun game to play, and they're trying to figure out the economics of it while using a token. And like I said, it's going to be rocky. They're going to be changing this. So this is ever changing, right? So it'll be interesting to see over the next couple days what people earn now if you just go out and play the 20 games. So my suggestion is get out there, play those 20 games, and figure out, what it is that you are earning. Remember, leave a like, subscribe, and we will see you guys next time right here. Have a great day.